Hello guys, this is Pedram Raufi and you are watching the trading review of the stock market and Forex market and of course the cryptocurrency market. We are going through all of these markets and we are going through different assets of cryptocurrency market and Forex market and of course stock market shares. We have some signals, very interesting signals from the analysts about some of the stocks which could rise in price in the near future. So we are going to go through them and just see what kind of potential the price got during the day, so what we can do during the day with these stocks. And of course, after that, we are going to see what is going on with the Forex market as well, the important currency pairs, and gold and oil as well. We are going to go through all of them, check all of them, and just see what is going on, what happened during the last week. And of course, we are going to see what kind of important news we have for today, so we can just check them and be in the trend. As you know about the situation in the stock market of the United States, it really depends on the Federal Reserve System decision of the interest rate rising in the near future. As we all know, the Federal Reserve System of the United States is not going to rise the interest rate in the near future. And lately, the Fed officials said that they see a pullback in their economic support. It means that they actually know that they have to just pull back the stimulus packages and make the monetary policy more hawkish. But we all know that this decision is going to be fulfilled maybe during some months. So for now, for today, the optimism on the stock market is continuing to grow and is continuing to happen. Here is a chart of S&P 500, the most important stock market index, and Dow Jones, which both of them are kind of continue the main upward trend, but during the day, during previous week, they are consolidating between inside the corridor. The chances of a corrective reverse of all of these assets of the stock market index of S&P 500 or Dow Jones, it still exists, and we all know that this correction, this 20% correction, 30% correction will happen. But to talk about this today, it's kind of really, it could be a really fast decision. It could be not really logical to wait for it during, I don't know, during this month even. Let's go and see what kind of news we have for today's day. Goldman Sachs is cutting China's growth forecast, which means that, as you know, the China growth, economic growth started after the end of the lockdowns, when the lockdowns actually finished. But now there's a suspicion of the China's economic growth falling in the near future. One of the most important things that are related to this fact is that China regulators, China's government is take under the pressure a whole stock market and of course the tech sector, the high-tech sector of the own country, which really cause a big pressure on the stock market, of Chinese stock market. And as we know, as we see, the Chinese stock market is still being under the pressure. Here we are watching the daily chart of Chinese most important stock indexes, stock market indexes, A600, A50, Shanghai Composite, and of course Shenzhen Composite, which are under the pressure. And as we see, they are under the pressure on the daily chart, and we don't have any really good signals of the next rising in the prices of these assets. So we're just gonna look through them and just, as you see, Maybe some of them are correctively rising, but mostly all of them are under pressure. So optimism about China's future, of economy future, is kind of really under the question mark. And we really cannot be so sure about the next rise or the near future rise in the stock market of China. Let's see what is going on with the United States stock market. There's a very interesting signals about the United States stock market, which is related to some of the really important and famous stocks and shares like Alibaba, like Tencent, and Apple, Amazon, Salesforce, which is a CRM. And we are going to go through all of them because due to CNBC analysts, there is a chance that they could really continue to rise in the future. Let's see through our platform, our technical platform of TradeZero of Gerchik Co company, and here I choose all of the shares. Tencent, Alibaba, Apple, Amazon, CRM, and the last one, the Best Buy, which is as well, some analysts believe that they could really continue to rise. First of all, we're going to look through the Tencent. On the daily chart, as you see, yesterday's candle closed very beautifully, very interestingly, and with the signal of a next upward movement. Here we have a real good pressure to the local resistance, which is here, which is on the 60 mark or 62. So the next rise of the prices of Tencent is really obvious. We can actually see it due to the potential of movement. We have a target level of 65 or 66, which could be retested in the near future. About Alibaba, we can say here that the Alibaba stocks are mainly under the pressure. We cannot be really sure about their future rise, but in the really short term, they could make some upward movements. Here, due to the yesterday's candle, we can actually be sure about that this rising could really continue, maybe to the half of the previous impulse, which is here. This is the previous impulse, previous downward impulse, and in the near future, prices could really rise to the half of this impulse. It means to $160. $160, that's a really good target level, which could get retested in the near future for on the Alibaba shares. And about Apple, as we see, is very strong. On the daily chart, it looks strong. And mainly, most important thing is that Apple prices, Apple shares are testing a very important and mirror level of 145. And if we are going to be above 145 during today's American sessions, it would be really good news. As we see here, the yesterday's candle just closed upon this level. But if today we get above this level, it would be a really good signal. Mostly, we have signals of the reversal signals of retesting this mirror level, which is here, which is here, and which is here. I mean the candles with the big shadows from downside. About Amazon stock prices, here we have as well on the daily chart a very strong and beautiful picture. And mostly in the near future, they could really retest the local resistance. So be careful. Yesterday's candle closed as a bullish reversal sign. And as we see here, it's a real good reversal sign for today's trading sessions of America. CRM, which continuing to rise with told about CRM on the previous trading views, and as you see, it is continuing the rise. But there is the most important thing, that it's already retested the local and historical resistance. And after this kind of things, when price is retesting the bottom or the top of the market, the next movement could be reversal. So you have to be careful here, because the prices could really make a little correction to 270, 276 or 5, and after that they could start to rise again. So we have to wait for this correction and then go through the trades. And Best Buy, analysts of CNBC are telling that the Best Buy, it could really rise as well, which is very interesting. And due to the technical picture, we have here a retest of local support of 106, and this support is retested. The yesterday's candle had a real big impulse, and for today's day we really can say that maybe prices could make some corrective downward movements, but after that mostly we are waiting for next rise. So during the weeks, during the 2 weeks, maybe within 2 or 3 weeks, all of the stocks could really rise due to the analysts, articles which we have on CNBC. What is next on the news? There's a very important and maybe positive news, which is related to the COVID vaccination and the new wave, the Delta variant. And as we see here, Dr. Gottlieb, which was the chief of FDA of the United States, told that 90% of Americans may have some from COVID immunity after Delta wave. It means we have now the Delta wave continuing to spread all over the world, and we are getting really near to the next quarantine, to the next lockdowns. And the United States is not wholly vaccinated. Britain is wholly vaccinated. Israel is wholly vaccinated. But in the United States, in Europe, we don't have this rise on this progress in the vaccination. So this fact could be really negative. But the thing that Dr. Gottlieb is telling about is that 90% of Americans could really get the immunity after the Delta wave. And it means that maybe commodity or defense assets or risk assets like gold, like Japanese yen, like Swiss franc or silver, they could be under the pressure maybe in the near future. But let's see what is going on with their prices. As we see here, gold and silver have made a really impulsive downward movement from yesterday, and they are retesting. Gold is retesting a local support. It have already retested the local support of 1,740, and in the future the probability of the next rising in the prices is more logical. And I mean during the future and between these two borders, between inside this corridor, inside this sideways, as we say. And about silver, we have the same situation, kind of the same situation, but really here need to be careful that prices maybe in the future could retest $22.60, but after that they could maybe make some correctional movement downward as well. So maybe in the near future we have some uprising in the price of gold, in the price of silver, but after that we could really maybe the probability of the next the continuance of the downward movement would be more higher in the midterm. And platinum, which have been checked by us during our previous programs, It retested the 900, rise till psychological level of 1000, and now it's consolidating upon this level, which is not a really good news. And in the near future, I think during the day we have a retest of local supports, which could really help this defensive assets, this commodity, to rise during the day, maybe during the American session, and that could be a really corrective movement. If the amplitude, if the size of the candles stay this little, this low, it would mean that in the midterm we are going to observe the continuance of downward movement. Let's take a look through today's economic calendar, and we are going to go through Forex pairs next, which is very important because we have to actually know what kind of releases different countries have, and due to these releases we would know that what would go on with the price of currency of different currency of different countries during the day, what kind of volatility they may have, and etc. So today's economic calendar is kind of rich. European Central Bank President Lagarde speaks at 12 o'clock by Greenwich time, and at 2 o'clock p.m. Consumer Confidence Index of United States will release. Here we see the forecasts are positive, and Fed Chair Powell testifies. It means that today's day we're gonna have the continuance of yesterday's or maybe last week's speech of Jerome Powell. And as you know, Jerome Powell is a very conservative person, which is not really going to cut the stimulus program yet, because they are waiting for the really very fast and really huge rise in the job market. The things that they're waiting for, the target of job market that they're waiting for, is really high. And till the moment they got this target in the job market, they won't cut the stimulus program. So maybe today they would be a little, I think they would be a little dovish, maybe. But if the speech would be hawkish, the dollar prices could rise. So let's see what is going on with the dollar prices, and after dollar prices we are going to see what is going on with the Forex pair, with the other Forex pairs like euro, like pound, like Japanese yen, and the others. United States dollar from yesterday on the daily chart is rising. Yesterday's candle closed very beautifully, and today's candle is actually breaking through the local resistance. This breakthrough is really impulsive. As you see here, as you see on the 15-minute chart, this local maximum, this the breakthrough of 93.60, it was really impulsively. So for today's day, maybe we are going to see the next uprising till 93, maybe 60, and after that we are going to maybe observe a consolidation in the price of the index, of the dollars index. So during today's day, we are just waiting for the finish, for the last upward impulses of dollar prices, which would mean that the scenario for today's traders and day traders for different kind of currencies would be reversal. It means that in the near future, euro, pound, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar could maybe start to rise, and it would be a corrective rise, it would be a correctional rise, but it could happen because, as you see in the 15-minute chart of euro, dollar, pound dollar, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar to United States dollar, all of these last movements were very impulsive, and after this impulse, we observed the breakthrough of the local minimums, of the local supports. When something like this happens, after that we have to really wait for prices. If we are bearish, if you are bearish. If you are going to sell further, you have to really wait for prices to retest the local resistance again. I mean 1.17 for euro, or maybe 1.16 for euro. For pound, it could be 1.37. We have to wait for its retest if you are bearish. And for Australian dollar, it could be the 0.7280. We have to wait for its retest. And for New Zealand dollar as well, maybe we have to wait for the retest of a psychological level, which is very important, of 0.7. And after the retest of these levels, next, after that, if prices get stuck under these levels, it means that we have a signal of further selling, and we could be bears during the day, during the session. So, and if you are bulls, just be careful that now we have a correctional movement. But this correctional movement, it really won't give us what we want. So if you are bullish, just take the middle of this impulse, of last impulse, of euro dollar, of pound dollar, the middle of this impulse, of Australian dollar, the middle of this impulse, and for New Zealand dollar, just take the middle of this impulse to wait for its retest. So if you are buying now, you just have to wait till the prices get near to the middle of this impulse, because after they retest the middle of the impulse, they could really reverse and go down. Next, we are going to see what is going on with the defensive pairs, like commodity pairs, like the pairs are risky assets, like Swiss franc and Japanese yen. Euro franc and dollar franc are kind of under the pressure. And this pressure, we actually see it's continuing, and maybe franc prices during the near future could get a little strengthened. During the day, due to the picture of this chart, we could have a reversal, corrective reversal, correctional reversal, and we could really wait for the retest of the middle of this impulse. If we get stuck under the middle of this impulse, it would be a sign of the next downward movement. It could be a really unspeedy movement. It could be a really with a little candles, and it could be a really slow movement. So the most important thing that you have to understand, that in the charts of euro franc, in the charts of dollar franc, the trend, the whole general trend is upward. So if you want to be bearish on dollar franc or euro franc, you have to just work like this. I mean, just take the profit and leave the market if you are bearish. It means that you have to wait for the retest of the middle of this previous impulse, which already have happened on the euro franc chart. So be careful. What is going on with the oil market? As we see, the United States oil reservoirs are kind of continue to cut the oil producing. But what would be in the next OPEC meetings? OPEC is not really going to help the oil prices to make them rise. As we know, due to their previous last policy, OPEC is not really targeting for higher prices. But due to the reduce of the production of oil in the United States, the oil price is continuing to rise. And as you know, the escalation of the situation between Iran and the United States, which is related to the nuclear program of Iran, which is getting escalated days by day. And as we know, the Israel yesterday or 2 days ago, the Premier Minister of Israel just told during the speech that they feel really unsafe because of Iranians' progress in the nuclear program. So these facts are really escalating the market, and all of these facts would help the oil market to rise further. So be careful of these facts, just listen to the news. After this kind of news, we always have the rising in the prices of the commodity or oil mostly. Oil is retesting a very important and historical maximum, 76, and it's already retested it in the short-term chart, and maybe we have to just wait for a retest of 75.60, and next after that we could get another upward movement. If we get under 75, it won't be a really good sign. If we get under 75, but 75 could get retested impulsively as well. If the dollar prices rise further, it means that oil prices could really retest 75. So be careful about this as well. United States dollar to Canadian dollar, of course, it would rise further if the United States dollar price rises, and if the oil prices correctionally fall during the day. So if it won't happen, the prices of this pair could be under the pressure. We are going to finish today's program with the review of Bitcoin and Ethereum prices as well. As you see on the chart, of 15-minute charts of Bitcoin and 15-minute charts of Ethereum, both of them are under the important levels. $3,000, which was retested yesterday, and we got stuck under it, upon it. And that's not a really good sign, but mostly maybe in the midterm we could have the continuance of this downward impulse, and then we could have the next consolidation. So maybe we should really wait for the continuance of this impulse, of this downward impulse in Ethereum, and after that it retests the local support. After that we could really start to buy, but we have to be really careful. About Bitcoin as well, this impulse could continue, and if we get retest the 40,000, which is a psychological level, after the retest of psychological level, the impulse could really go further, but the candle will close with a really long downside shadow. So if something like that happened, it would be a really good signal for buyers to return into the market. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe on our channel and ring the bell so you would know when the other programs and the online programs will come. So you would watch them, you will see them, and it would be great for your trading. Don't forget to subscribe on our channel and ring the bell. Thank you very much. Till next time, guys, have a good tradings. Bye bye.